With a view to strengthen and institutionalize the mechanism of maintaining financial stability, government has decided to set up an apex-level financial stability and development council. Without prejudice to the autonomy of regulators, this council would monitor macroprudential supervision of the economy, including the functioning of the large financial conglomerate, and address inter-regulatory coordination issues. It will also focus on financial literacy and financial inclusion.
Welcome back. You're watching Your World at 10, and that was the Finance Minister in last Friday's budget announcement proposing the setting up of a Financial Stability and Development Council. What form is such a body likely to take? How will it be any different from the existing high-level coordination committee that works between regulators? And really, what purpose is this body going to serve? Joining us to answer some of those questions, former Finance Secretary Ashok Jha, who is now non-executive chairman at the MCXSX and a veteran of the Indian banking and financial services sector, A.K. Purwar, the former chairman of SBI and currently the chairman of India Venture Advisors. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on Your World at 10. Mr. Jha, if I may start with you, this announcement in the budget, in a sense, reopens the debate on a super-regulator as mooted by certain finance ministry officials many months ago when we were in the midst of the global financial crisis. What are you reading into the creation of this kind of body?
Well, actually, this body has been created essentially as I would say, a takeoff from the Raghuram Committee report. No, the Raghuram Rajan Committee had recommended certain strengthening of the regulatory system, and this is really a takeoff from there. Now, I don't think that it has the elements that many people are seeing in it. It's at the moment, of course, it's really a work in progress, in the sense that I gather that the government is trying to work out a concept paper for this body, for the FSDC, as they call it. So it's I don't think all the I's have been dotted and the T's crossed as yet. But what I understand is that there will be an apex body which will probably be chaired by the finance minister, and there will be some subsidiary bodies which will function under it. The HLCC as it exists today is not likely to be subsumed under this. In other words, that will continue functioning as it is.
The point I'm trying to get from you is, are you in favor of a creation of such a body?
No, it all depends on how the body is constituted and what its functions are.
Mr. Purwar, do we need a body that supersedes the HLCC? Or if such a body was to be put into place, do you think it should subsume the HLCC, or the HLCC should continue? Do we need this kind of, one more layer of supervision?
Well, let's look at as to exactly what is happening in the marketplace today. If you see the tug of war between IRDA and SEBI, as far as the life insurance companies, the mutual fund related products.
The ULIP controversy that's going on.
The ULIP where tug of war is on.
Sure.
And hardly there is any solution in sight. But if you look a little deeper into this, in the banking sector there are lots of products where the banking and insurance, both the products are getting combined, and a sort of hybrid product is on sale in the market. And today, how the risks are being managed today in the banking system is that while the banking risks are managed by the banking system, the insurance side, the insurance part of the business is passed on to either a subsidiary or to a separate company. So far the volumes were limited, so okay. But now when the volumes go up very considerably, there is going to be a huge value underlying this.
But Mr. Purwar, can't the HLCC actually look into this? Sorry to interrupt you, but can't the HLCC manage this regulatory overlap or regulatory gaps?
I personally feel that HSBC, or for that matter, the existing system per se, has not been able to effectively address the underlying issues. And I think that is the reason why such an authority is being created. Of course, as Mr. Jha very rightly pointed out, it's work in progress.
Right.
But yes, that is what is important, that an authority with lots of powers comes in and is able to effectively deal with these issues.
What more powers would you like to see in a body like this, the Financial Stability and Development Council, that will make it a more effective body than the High-Level Coordination Committee, Mr. Purwar?
Venka, if a body is chaired by the finance minister of the country and is attended by all the regulators of the country, which body can be more powerful than this? And then I understand that a lot of teeth is being added in this body. And therefore, it should, in my view, be able to effectively deal with the present issues.
All right. Mr. Jha, the finance minister said in his speech, without prejudice to the autonomy of regulators, this council would monitor macro-prudential supervision of the economy, including the functioning of the large financial conglomerates, and address inter-regulated e-coordination issues. Let's assume that one part of the function of this body was to subsume what the High-Level Coordination Committee did and do it more effectively with more powers. That's fine. But how can you do this, or how can you do or regulate the functioning of large financial conglomerates or macro-prudential supervision of the economy without actually prejudicing the autonomy of other regulators, namely the RBI? So in a sense, is this body likely to get into a turf battle with the RBI or curb the powers that the RBI currently has?
No, I don't think that is the intention.
Okay.
See, the intention quite obviously is that the sectoral regulators, whether it is SEBI, RBI or IRDA, they will continue to regulate activities within their domain. Only issues which go beyond their domain or where there are possibilities of overlap, like in the ULIP's case, will the super-regulator, by whatever name you want to call it, will step in. And there are a lot of systemic risks that are there in the markets, in the financial markets, and it is those kind of risks that this super regulator will try to tackle, and not not issues concerning each particular sector as such.
So in your mind, there is clear need from your responses for such a body, but the fact is that it also has a rather wide ambit, because outside of everything else that I mentioned in my previous question, this body will also focus on financial literacy and financial inclusion. What is this, a super cure, a one-size-fits-all kind of body? Because how is it going to do all of this? Manage large financial conglomerates, macro supervision of financial policy, coordination, and then financial literacy and all of that as well?
No, because see, so far regulators have been regulating, which is of course required. You do need to regulate the financial markets, but you also need to broad base the financial markets. And to do that, you need much higher levels of financial literacy and financial inclusion. So in fact, I am very happy that there is a body that is being set up, which is going to be charged with the responsibility of enhancing both financial literacy as well as financial inclusion.
Mr. Purwar, you don't think that's too much on the plate of one body to both monitor macro-prudential supervision of the economy, address inter-regulatory or inter-regulated e-coordination issues, and then also focus on financial literacy and inclusion?
Well, I personally believe that the financial inclusion is a major challenge, but in my view, a much bigger opportunity. And the various agencies, including the highest agency which get involved in the process, I think it is such a major challenge which needs to be addressed at the highest levels. And I think the constitution of such an authority to focus on these issues is important. But having said that, one additional point which I would like to make here,
sure, sir, that
today's Indian financial conglomerate, if you see SBI with a balance sheet size of almost 900,000 crores if you include all its businesses, or ICICI, where it has some issues on the banking side, but other businesses are flourishing very well. Or if you see SGFC, which is emerging into a financial conglomerate. If you term them strictly as banking, well, they need to be looked at. They are present in so diverse fields, and some of these fields are completely unregulated. And therefore, presence of some such agency which monitors the working of, at least regulates in some way, in an overall way, the various financial activities in which these financial conglomerates are engaged in, I think is extremely important. It's a very right kind of step. The only fear which I have is that, well, RBI has matured over a period of time as a very good regulator, has acquitted themselves very well. I am sure that this body which comes up, it does take advantage of the kind of strength which RBI has built up over a period of time.
And so are you worried then that it might impinge on the independence of RBI?
No, I don't think that I'm worried about that.
Mr. Jha, if you think this body is going to manage regulatory coordination, why are you saying that the high-level coordination committee might continue to exist then, Mr. Jha?
No, I'm only telling you what I think is likely to happen.
All right.
As I said, this is still work in progress. Yeah.
All right. But ideally, you think it should subsume the HLCC, right, if it was to be able to do an effective job?
Well, you see, if they are going to have an apex body chaired by the finance minister, and if there are going to be two other bodies functioning under it, then my view would be then you don't need the HLCC. But as I said, there must be some reason why currently the thinking is that this will not subsume the HLCC and that the HLCC will continue to function as it is functioning today.
All right, Mr. Jha, Mr. Purwar, thank you very much for your views. I know it's early days. Let's wait to see what the Finance Ministry releases in terms of its draft proposal. Thank you for your time and thank you for being on Your World at 10. With that,